Today it is around -2 degrees over here in New York, and I'm lucky to be in here in the garage recording because I'm not sure how I'm managing right now, but I will get through this video somehow. I've already talked about other cloud services quite a bit, services such as Google Stadia and GeForce Now. This time, I actually wanted to focus on one that is more recent and one that I have heard little to nothing about until I started doing research for it and testing it out myself. So this is going to be Amazon's own cloud service, Project Luna, or Amazon Luna as it is now known as. So is it worth it? And how does it stack up against the other two services that I mentioned? For more content, do make sure to subscribe to this channel because we upload fairly often and focus on all sorts of tech products. So do make sure to leave us a like and comment any of your thoughts down below while you're at it. It really helps us with the algorithm. And if you want to support us further, then we've actually got a Patreon open which offers early access to content and special insight to projects that I'm always working on in case that is something that interests you. So links to everything down below. So before we begin this entire video, or review I should say, it is worth noting that I purchased the controller kit from Amazon directly since I wanted to get the full experience, though this controller is not really required as far as I'm aware. But if you were curious, this controller feels great in hand, even if it doesn't look amazing. It's pretty hefty, and the grips actually have this indentation around the back that makes this one of the most comfortable controllers that I have ever used. I actually want to include this controller in the next iteration of the best controller for PC gaming. For that reason, just to see how it stacks up against other controllers. It's got the Xbox layout and even replaceable batteries or AA batteries if you prefer that. I personally don't. It also features a USB-C port for charging and wired play, but anyway, let's talk about the service itself. So in order to even access it, you have to request early access directly from Amazon, and if they let you in, and then you will get a link right away to start experiencing the service. They offer a 7-day free trial with a $5.99 per month charge after that, but you can also get the Ubisoft Plus package for $17 per month, I think. So for the purposes of this video, and honestly because I'm me, I will go with the base version since it's all I really need here. So I kind of forgot to mention this, but you would set up the Luna controller through the Luna app on Android or iOS first and foremost, which means that you do need a smartphone to configure this controller. At least that's what I understand from all this. It's a little bit confusing sometimes just looking through the documentation, but I think that you only need the app if you want to set this controller up to be used with Amazon Luna in particular. However, there is still going to be a Bluetooth mode for use as a regular controller, thankfully. Google could have really learned from this instead of making people wait a long time. So right now, you can pretty much only use the service on a supported web browser such as Chrome and on Fire TV enabled TVs or with a Fire TV stick device in general. It's not really going to be the most accessible one since I do wish that there was a dedicated app where that you could use the Amazon app at least to play, but sadly, there is going to be that limitation, but it does at least work on the web browser, so we can just log in and start exploring the game. There are actually quite a few games to take a look at in this library, and unlike GeForce Now and Stadia, this service does embody the idea of a Netflix for gaming service because you can play every game offered here after just paying for the service, which from a value proposition, it sounds fantastic. This is precisely what we have been asking for a while, and Amazon at least looks like they do intend on delivering on this particular aspect of the service, which is really good if they do. Now, there are mostly just going to be indie games or AA games, however, that many might enjoy, but most of the experiences that I might look for may not necessarily be available here, unfortunately. But there are going to be some pretty sick games like Devil May Cry 5, for example, and I am going to be testing that game out over here as well. But if you wanted to try something like Sonic Mania, then you absolutely can, and I would say that the store does look great, and I am glad that everything is available from the start. However, as you would expect from a cloud service, it does not perform very well, even with a much more simple game like Sonic Mania, which looks great, but there are going to be a lot of network stutters even though I am using a 5G Wi-Fi connection to play this game and every other game that I tested. And so if you don't want to use a controller, or if you don't have one to use. And then you can just use touch controls as well, which can be enabled from the side menu, which I appreciate quite a bit, but performance is still going to be pretty shoddy here. There are quite a few audio stutters in the gameplay here, which is worth considering for sure. I was kind of disappointed with the performance, and I know that it might sound odd to many, but I have had great performance with both GeForce Now and Google Stadia, which has gotten better over time, and I can play those for a good while without having many connection issues. But Amazon Luna starts out this way with just about every game I tested. On screen, you should be seeing how it performs with my network, and I do have a pretty strong 5G network, so this was surprising to me. But naturally, performance under 5G cellular data will likely give you a lot of stuttering here as well, as I still get issues with the other services too when I try to use them on a mobile network. So I would personally argue that cloud gaming just isn't really ready for mobile use quite yet either. But I will say that while performance hasn't been favorable, it is a really nice value proposition, and I will come back to talk about the service probably closer to the end of the year to see how much it can improve. Stadia did it, so I'm sure that if Amazon cares enough, they can make it work too. This service is in early access after all, and hasn't had a full-on launch, which means that it's not really ready for the public. So it is normal that it would have these issues too. Again, I look forward to seeing what it's going to be like once it's fully launched to the public and leaves the early access stage. So that's the current state of Amazon Luna. If you're interested in seeing my most updated videos on Stadia and GeForce Now, then do make sure to click on the links below or the cards throughout this video if you happen to come across them. I think that these are going to be pretty interesting videos documenting the progress of cloud gaming, and you all seem to like it quite a bit, so I do enjoy making these videos. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, as I would be more than happy to read through and see what you think about Amazon Luna if you've been able to test it out. So thank you so much to all of you for watching up until the very end. I am going to be leaving links, affiliate links down to Amazon to the Amazon Luna controller kit in case you are interested as well. I think it's a fantastic controller. So links to that down below. I also want to give a very special thanks to all of my patrons, beginning with Omar, Aliyah, and Saad Al-Wazal. Thank you so much for all of your support, because it really does go a long way, and by now you should be seeing the rest of the patrons, the tier 2s being shown off as well. Those were the tier 3s that I just mentioned. So yeah, thanks a lot for everything, guys. So this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you for watching, and I will be seeing you all later. Enjoy.